Alright, on to Rebuild World Chapter 6. This chapter starts with a flashback to a young Sarah, and she's in bed looking very sick, hooked up to a ventilation machine. Elena's come to visit her. Young Elena tells Sarah, I heard that they can use nanites to treat an illness in the eastern districts. They said that'll reinforce your body on the cellular level, and that she'll definitely get her this treatment. And it looks like she did just that, and got her the treatment. She looks like she's starting to recover and she's got her strength back. We snap back to the present. Elena's the one who regains consciousness first, and that group of ghoulish hunters have their weapons raised at her. She starts to remember what happened, and she's worried about Sarah. Sarah is then able to regain consciousness and thinks, Elena. The men start to rush her, but Sarah is quick and pulls out 2 pistols, and she unloads those 2 pistols while going for cover, but she thinks to herself, that hand grenade exhausted most of my nanite reserve. While behind cover, she thinks, Elena, where's Elena? And we learn where Elena is. She's being taken hostage by 2 hunters, and they tell her to drop her weapons, or they will end Elena. Elena tells Sarah to forget about her, and to take these guys out. The men shout at her, saying, get out from there. Are you okay with this girl being unalived? Sarah thinks to herself, it's true that if I forget about Elena, I can take those guys out. But Elf and Elena definitely won't make it. The men ask, are you girls here because of that rumor about that slum kid who found relics around the area too, right? They say, we can't afford going back empty-handed, so you see, we'll decided to take your equipment. We won't kill you, so drop your weapon and get out from there. Sarah thinks to herself, I'll definitely save Elena. But how? Things start to escalate. One hunter says, that's it then, I'm going to take this girl out. Sarah then grunts and says, wait, and tosses her weapons. Sarah emerges from her cover. Elena says, Sarah, don't. Sarah thinks, it's alright, they've lowered their guards. With my augmented strength, I can take them out as long as I can get close enough to them. The hunter actually has something between his ears and says, stop there. Take off your augmented suit, too. She thinks, augmented suit? And he says, to think that you got out unscathed after taking that grenade at that range. That's good equipment you must have there, huh? I don't want to be beaten to deceased with that enhanced strength from the augmented suit, so take that off too, slowly. Sarah says, alright, and starts to think. He's mistaking my protective cloth for an augmented suit. If he hasn't realized that I'm a modified human with strength, then this is my chance. And as she continues to disrobe, those hunters start to mock her about her body and appearance, saying she looks just like a guy. Their mocking of her friend gets to Elena, and she shouts, you scum, you have no idea of what she's been through. The hunter that's holding Elena hostage tells her to shut up, and hits the back of her head with his gun. Sarah thinks, Elena. Sarah says, there, I've taken it off. And the other hunter says, now come here, slowly. But before she can even do that, a hunter shoots her in both her legs. Sarah falls to the floor. We see a hand holding a smoking rifle. It's a man that looks like he's really kitted out. He even has a cybernetic arm. And he somehow knows that she's an enhanced human and says, that girl is a nanite enhanced human. She's as strong as a normal person in an augmented suit. If you don't want to get twisted and ripped apart, just give up on doing that to her. All of that commotion gives Elena a chance to break free, and she rushes to Sarah's aid. She thinks to herself, the nanites are focused on healing her external wounds. She's in no condition to fight. Sarah, barely conscious, apologizes to Elena and tells her that she made a blunder. The same man that shot Sarah in her leg says, the colorless mist is getting thicker, so don't take too long playing with them. And all of them start to laugh in glee. But, in a very satisfying moment, a bullet tears through the skull of the man that shot Sarah in her legs. Blood, skull, and brain matter go flying out the other side of his head. His body then falls to the floor, and it causes the other hunters to react, screaming and attack. But it doesn't matter. They all start catching bullets to the head, dropping their weapons. One of the hunters turns to Elena and Sarah and says, damn you, you still have friends with you? But Elena pulls out a rifle and unloads on him. The scene is thrown into chaos as the remaining hunters shoot wild and aimlessly into the mist, trying to find who's taking them out. Elena, while holding Sarah, is thinking, who's shooting these guys? What's going on here? As she continues to empty her rifle. We get a shot of a crumbling building and the glint of a rifle, and we learn that it's Akira sniping them from quite a distance, what looks like to be a normal rifle and a dot sight. Akira then asks Alpha how many of them are left. Alpha replies with 3 are gone, only 5 remain. And that was chapter 6 of Rebuild World. Personally, I like this chapter because it introduces one of my favorite characters. I like Elena, but Sarah is my favorite, and you'll see why soon. It's kind of a nanomachine sun situation with her. But before we get out of here, can you please do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell and all of that. It'll really help the channel out. And yeah, thank you for making it to the end with me. Velvet out.